Hey guys, happy Friday. I don't know whether you saw on our Instagram during the week, but I'd been waiting for this little part to arrive to get cracking on the car. And it finally came. I think it was like special order from Japan. There's still a few other little pieces that I'm waiting for, but what I was really waiting on to get moving was this. And what this is if you turn around to our barn doors, it is basically the little striker plate that sits up here that will lock the catch in. So the catch comes out of this hole here, and it'll basically lock in to this striker plate, which on the cars that came factory with barn doors, they actually don't have a curved thing here. I've had some people in Japan and stuff like that send me some photos. They actually had a flat spot there. So I'm gonna have to come up with a way of mounting this that is raised off the metal a little bit. But either way, it means today that I can crack in and work on how I'm gonna do that. I have this saying where sometimes I hate my past self, and today I hate my past self because I just got so excited when these barn doors turned up that I started taking them apart, and I just I started cleaning them up, and I just wanted to get them ready and get them put on the car, and I thought it was going to be easy, or easier than what it has been. And I really didn't pay any attention to what went in what door and how everything went, and I probably should have labeled it and bagged it up and all those sorts of things. So I have a pile of stuff, and I have to try and work out how that goes back into the car so that I can make all the handles work and everything like that. So in here, it looks very empty because there's nothing in there, and there's supposed to be like a latch on here and a latch on here and a handle on over there and a lock and all those sorts of things. So we don't have a key lock for this. So it's all pretty funny and fun and games, but I'm going to make it work, and hopefully you guys can laugh along with me, and it will be ridiculous. So welcome to No Matter Fact. Sophia's out. She's finished washing up or whatever she was doing. Real world duties. Anyway, so here is my first issue. Basically, the way this works is that this is the little lock that locks in, and I put my hand up in here. You'll see that when you pull on the door, that's going to go up and down. So that should slam in and push down and come in past this striker, right? It's got a striker because that's where it strikes and it locks in. The thing is though, with the cars that were made to have these, they had a square channel here. So this just screws to the top. But we have an oval, a round channel. So I need to work out how to make this sit flat as that sort of comes through. So just showing you guys what the problem is and the reasons why things like this just take so flipping long. Because this is a day's work, and all I'm doing is fitting one thing on the door, and we want to get this thing moving as soon as possible. And this is the little rabbit holes that I get myself stuck down. I've just been standing here and opening and closing the doors about 6 million times. I'm a little concerned because when this right-hand door comes in, the distance at the top here is still real tight on these two doors, and it's really clear that I can't even open this now. It's really clear that this left-hand door, no matter what, needs to lift, right? So I'm going to fix that problem first, because otherwise when I mount all these striker plates that you can see here, when I mount all these, they're going to be just slightly out. I'm going to have to be adjusting stuff when I'm putting the car back together again after paint, and I don't want to do that. So I have these that we bought off Trail Tailor, and on the old doors, they used to mount about here, and they're to put an aerial or a light on, so you can put accessories onto the back of the car. And I'm thinking, because we're actually going to do an LED setup for the lights, so they're going to be a little bit different. Plus on the back bumper bar, we also have brake lights and indicators and all sorts of things like that. So I'm not too worried about covering it up a little bit. Thinking I can use this because I still want to mount accessories to the back of the car, like SCB radio aerials and things like that. So I'm thinking I can use this because it's quite thick, and use it to lift this hinge off a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this hinge, and I'm going to drill some holes in this that are the right kind of shape where I want to have this sit. And I'm going to see if that lifts the door up to where it needs to be, because this is definitely thicker. It's probably about 2 mil thick. Update. So my plan to put this little baby in here that will potentially hold either a light or like a CB radio aerial or something like that worked. So now you can see that the line here is really nice and even, and when it opens and closes. So I've actually just got the striker plate for the bottom part and everything just sitting there, and they are going, and then when I shut this, it lines up. So it's closed still, and I need to put the seals in there and play with it, but I think I've done it. I can't access the back part of where I need to put this striker plate, so I can't put a bolt and a nut on the back for this one. So the solution we've come up for that is to use these bolts that were being used to hold the top of the old back door in. They were holding the hinges in, and we're going to use a stainless steel riv nut. Now, we've used these before and they did work, and they worked really well for us. We used aluminium ones, but this is going to take a lot more like daily force, like slamming the door in and out, in and out, in and out. So I really want to use a bit of, I'm going to try and use a little bit of Loctite on these ones, and that should give them a little bit of extra help when it comes to holding them into the cup. So I'll show you the process of how these go on, and hopefully they will work. Honestly, like the longest part of what we do every day is me trying to find my tools and stuff in this car. I just have no idea wherever I put anything, because I always put stuff away in the dark or whatever when I'm just trying to do it as quickly as possible. And just trying to find this riv nut gun was ridiculous. Anyway, carry on. So here's where I've drilled the holes where I want to put the 2 little riv nuts. These are going to go in there like this. Pretty much with everything else around here, I couldn't find my Loctite compound, so I'm going to use industrial adhesive, which should be more than enough. Should be. And let me see if I can get these little guys in. So this is the gun that you put the riv nuts on with. You need to find the part in the kit that matches the thread that you're trying to use, and you screw it into the end of the gun, and basically works like a rivet gun, except that you are compressing this part of the riv nut into the hole. Now, I'm going to put some glue on this before I put it in. So I'm just going to do that now. I got too much glue on this thing, as is always the way. I'm going to try and push a little into the hole here. So there's some on the other side, honestly. Because that's where it's kind of needed on it in this thing anyway. Okay. And then let's push this guy in. It's definitely a lot harder than using aluminium ones. You just screw this thing out, like this. And the riv nut should be held in there. So I'm just going to clean up the glue around here. I want like to leave as much as I can though, like underneath that little like groove, in the hope that that actually sticks. And then there's like a little bit of glue in there, which I'm just going to put a long bolt through. Just like that. You see I pulled the glue out. Now the biggest problem that I see with riv nuts is, let me just take this camera off here. If you look really closely there, you'll see that there's actually like a lip, which means that like whatever you put on, like whether if it's a piece of plate or whatever, so it's actually going to be slightly raised there. And that's kind of the biggest problem that I see. For something like this, where it's the door striker and you want it to sit flush on the car, it's going to be a little bit of a push, I think. But anyway, let's let that glue dry and hopefully these things hold. kind of winning. It was pretty good to me. The lock's tight. Let me just give you guys a wider view of this baby. So that's not opening right now. And if I just lift the little lever, I can unlock it. Locked. I feel like I'm gonna have crazy amounts of fine tuning on this thing, because what's actually happening now is that it's going in, but it's not going all the way back. Why is that? Why does it take to go all the way back? Right, hang on. So it's like, it's in the first sort of movement, it's not going all the way to the back of the lock. I don't know why. Maybe the lock needs a bit of grease put in it or something. So I think it's too low. I'm just going to adjust it. Yeah. So just then when I like slammed the crap out of it, it closed. And it's locked really tight. Crazy. So it's actually locking. I don't really know why I have to slam it so hard, but it's locking. And it unlocks really easily. Okay, so I move all this mess out of the way and I zoom in. You guys can see once it's locked fully, just how much it's compressing these seals, and it compresses them at different rates all the way around, but I'm actually getting a seal on every single angle here, and there's actually like extra door seals that go up the top, but I still haven't like secured the top striker, right? So that can be back up in there, right? So it really depends on where I secure that top striker as to like where that door is going to seal, and it's obviously going to have more weight in it once all the pieces are back together and everything like that. So it may not take as much force as what it's actually taking at the moment to shut it. But it's holding, and it's like, it doesn't want to move anywhere. And now this door looks like it's like way out of shape, honestly. I'm gonna have to actually put all the pieces together and see where this sits, because that one's not even lining up right there. But I'm like 5% of the way there. 5%. So I'm slowly putting little parts of the door back together to see if they work. This was my little like latch from the tailgate that was on the thing, because the way these doors worked is you had to reach in and unhook from the inside. I don't want to have to do that. I want to be able to like grab it from the outside. So I've just fitted all this, and it's actually working. So that's the back of the catch, and then this is the back of my little lever, and this one will connect to the top door striker here, and that one's going to connect to the bottom one, and that will unlock the door. Super simple, super easy. Just that it's taking a lot of effort to like slam this door to to get it to actually close. So I'm like trying to work out how to not have to do that. So most of the issues I'm facing right now are just in the slightest little movements. So what's actually happening is as I close this, it's actually lifting the door up a little bit, which makes it like look really good. But I think ideally the door would be already kind of at that height as it hit the striker, so that way it's not kind of being forced in one direction. But to fix it, all I did was just loosen this up, and I moved the striker to the left a little, and now it's kind of working. So I've just put the couch back into this, which should like open that. Right, should like slam like that, and then this should release it. Should. Yeah. So I want to see if I can get this door locking into the other door. So let me just put this onto the other door, and we'll see how we go. So just putting this on here. I don't know whether there's an up and a down to this, but let's just see if we can get this door to shut. Man, that's actually not bad. Oh man, I gotta get a haircut. So this is not great. Okay, I don't know why it's doing this. I don't know whether the doors are actually bent or whether they're even off the same car or what. But like this is all lining up down here fine, but it's pushing this way and like really closing this gap up as I lock the door. And I don't know why. No idea. This is a hard video to film. The doors could be potentially bent or twisted, or I don't know, but something's definitely not right with it. So it's locking though, and it's unlocking fine. So this is the little lever that I pulled to unlock it on the inside, and it's unlocking. Anyway, I'm gonna have to do some fine tuning on the way that this shuts. Like it seems to meet up perfectly, honestly. I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing what it's doing. The only thing I can think of that's really happening is that where this old battle scar is on the car, that it's pulling this hinge this way. Because even when I close this door slowly, you can see that it's like putting a really, really small gap up there in that corner. And I think it's actually like damaging the paintwork up there. So, not that that matters because we're going to cut it all back and paint it. But let me see if I can put a shim behind this top hinge here and see if that makes any difference. Hey guys, new t-shirt means new day. This video is ending really, really long, and I'm not intending to do that. I'm just trying to show you guys the tedious work that goes into every little part of what we do. I never would have imagined that that's the way this would have gone when I said to Soph a year ago, let's buy a 30-year-old Land Cruiser. But we like to do things kind of properly, and that's kind of the way that this goes. So I'm going to be back in it today, fighting with trying to get these doors level. Soph's going to be here to help me, and we're going to also like throw a little bit of paint on some spaces, so she'll be in the background doing that. But I'm going to try and get this done as quickly as I can, and I'll try and speed up some more places. But I know it's long, and I'm sorry, and I might not be as interesting as I wanted it to be, but it's real life. This is the real life. This is the real side of doing a car in a driveway yourself. Okay, so here it is. So while I'm working on the doors today, Sophia is doing a little bit of painting finally, which is kind of awesome because we've realized we can probably get some monster liner on this stuff early, given the fact that we're going to have to mix it up in different parts anyway. So we definitely want to make the inside of that little fuel filler section black. so it's kind of going to be different to the rest of the car, which would be really cool, I think. And the black will also hide any sort of like fuel spills or dirt or whatever that gets in there. Not that we should leave that in there. And we decided we're also going to black monster line the top of this, because monster liner is UV stable and the paint that we keep using on this stuff is not, and it keeps rusting through. I have taken the door off, and you can see the holes that are drilled for this door to go on are super close to the old hinges for the original doors we had on here. And I have drawn a little snake's head on here, and this is the piece that I'm going to use as the shim. So I'm going to cut that out and try this on the door and see how it goes. So made my little shim. That's going to go, it's just really hot, so I got to hold it with the pliers. That's going to go on the back of here, and that's going to give us about, I think it's about 2 minutes.
Many hours later.
I've been defeated. I have tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and taken the doors on and off a million times, and it just, I feel like I'm in a worse state than what I was when I first started like a couple of days ago. I just can't get the doors to line up. Like currently I'm looking at a humongous gap here, and then no gap here, and the doors are just jamming in the middle, and I can't get into a spot where I can even start trying to put this top striker in. So sorry guys, we're gonna have to push this one back to next week, but I hope you had a good laugh at the struggle in this video, and the struggle is real. I'm so over it, I'm so off it. It seems like a waste of a week. So anyway, catch you guys next week.